All right, I'm going to give a full breakdown of what our client's past agency did versus what we've done in the first week. And just to compare the results, over the last 3 months, our client has spent $47,000 and only had 52,000 back in revenue in 3 months. And he told us on the call he was having a $97 cost per lead with Meta Instant Forms, and he's spent over 85,000 on ads just trying to figure what works with our agencies. Whereas with us, we launched on the 2nd of January. In that time, we've had 17 appointments in 8 days, and we've only spent 1.7 thousand, and we've already got back 25,000 in projected revenue, worst case, just based off the appointments and closing rate. And he has officially closed first appointment for $5,000. And what's funny is we have a cheaper cost per appointment than he did per Meta Instant Form lead. And it's funny, the location didn't change, neither did the service he offered, just a team running the entire acquisition. So this was the first call when we initially spoke with him, and he told us he'd spent 47,000 and got 52K back. Now that was just from revenue. After, material costs and everything, he was at a loss. So just play the clip here. This was our kind of sales call, if you want to call it, where we don't have sales calls. We just try to understand what issues you're having, how we can fix it. Obviously we saw a clear issue here.
Is about 10,000 a month. Revenue from when they turned their ads on, which was September 15th through now, so it's 3 months. Revenue was like 52,000 through Meta ads.
Wait, over 3 months?
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't. It sounds okay because it's over 3 months, but when you think, that cost 30 grand.
About 47. Well,
yeah.
Fee. And my CPL is $97 average.
It is sped up a little bit.
Killing me.
That's spicy, mate.
Oh. But just leads. If you talk about leads, I had 252 leads.
Yeah.
That's a decent amount of leads.
Yeah.
However, I'm paying the hell out of of not only the ad spend but the fees too.
So all in, what's coming out of pocket every month, mate?
I'm paying $47,000. I paid $47,000 from September through now for this agency and the ad spend for Meta, and got 52 back before production costs and overhead, other overhead. So, and I just realized this today.
Okay, so is that you in the red?
Right. Oh yeah, I'm paying that.
Okay, I didn't make when I got, obviously the guy that rang you, he's giving me notes and stuff on what he spoke to, obviously as he's going. And I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a little bit problematic, and maybe results were coming in, not it's going negative because it's going the wrong way.
So as you can see there, it was more concern than anything else how ridiculous those results have been. So what I'm going to do is just show you what we've done the first week to completely transform his results and change his past experience completely. So the first mistake the last agency or agencies did, they were running Meta Instant Forms. Now with lead forms, they're often bad quality as it auto-populates their information. So this could be incorrect information or the older demographic not even realizing they filled it out. So at $97 cost per lead, there's many fake leads in there. Now with lead forms, auto-populate data, false leads, or people who don't realize they filled the forms. Lower intent, these people are always filling out multiple forms because it's easy to do and you're getting window shoppers, and you have no ability to actually track with the pixel, which we're going to get into later, which means you can't optimize and train the algorithm to find more appointments, and they just never pick up the phone. So we did something a little bit differently. We ran a landing page. Now with this landing page on the survey, we have what we call conditional logic based, and that means whichever answer you click, you receive a different question. So for those that select cabinet refinishing, we can ask how many front-facing cabinet doors are looking to get refinished. Now, if you don't want anything under 10, let's say you charge 130 per door and they have under 10, hell, you're not even going to make 1,300 from that job. So it doesn't make sense. If they wanted painting, because our client does some painting as well, although that's not what we're advertising for, we also go into how many rooms. Now, typically 1 to 3 rooms, unless you're getting all 3 big rooms, it's not even going to be an order size of 2,000, therefore we DQ. And then after that, we want to understand their timeline, and from there, we get their contact information. Now, with the landing page, we can have conditional logic, like I just showed, so vary questions based on the demand, and we can DQ people straight away. It's also a lot higher intent leads, so it's going to be a bit more expensive, but I don't care, it's what we want. It's going to be more friction, higher buying intent, and we have that ability to track, which once again, we're going to show later. We can send Facebook quality data that we want more people like that and optimize the algorithm to show our ads to the right people. Now this is very, very important. Like I said, more friction. Like we have a somewhat of a high cost per lead, but our intent level from appointment to lead is, we're above a 66% booking rate, and that's why our cost per appointment is cheaper than the last agency's cost per crappy Metaform lead. Next is only receiving phone numbers. Now, I know a lot of people that come to us, this has been their main experience in the past. All they got is really name, phone number, email, maybe one question answered, but no context. Now, you have no idea what the lead wants. You have no clue if the lead has the financials to do the project, and you're stuck chasing them, stuck chasing leads, always on the phone, interrupting your work. Like, you cannot be in the shop and chasing at the same time. And it's too timely for owners. You cannot optimize, and you can't train the algorithm to find more appointments. You're left with an absolute mess in the system. Now with us, completely different. Our team, we have a rep for your company, and what we'll do, just like our client, you're gonna have full details. So obviously cabinet or finishing, understand if their owner, what they're looking for, how many cabinets, and their budget, making sure they, qualify based on your cost per door. So with our client, they do 140 per door and a 200 per door, and then the downsell is gonna be 100 per door. And then of course, timeline expectations and the outcome. So we've even had our client say, wait, why is this lead now cancelled? Because it didn't match the price quota. We don't want you to waste your time. And the beautiful part of that is now you're not driving an hour for, a 3-door job or wasting time for someone who can only afford 10% of the job, and it removes your need to hire extra office staff. And then you also have the ability to disqualify leads. So you get to filter out renters, price shoppers, tire kickers, and also block homeowners who can't afford the service, and make sure the project size is adequate enough. Now, I'm not promising you it's going to make your close rate 100%, but it's going to help a lot. Now, not chasing leads as well. You're not wasting your evenings anymore on low intent conversations. And as a business owner, you can actually focus on the operations and the growth of the business, not follow up. And leads can actually be contacted quickly, with it being the rep's only job. Now, the next one is discount ads, all right? All that's going to do is attract price shoppers. Now, leads are going to compare you purely on price and not quality, and you're going to get broke prospects, and you're already lowering your profit margins. You're going to focus on taking more jobs just to stay even or make the same amount of money, and it makes scaling financially fragile, okay? And of course, it is devaluing your brand and your expertise and make your service feel like a commodity, and it's harder to justify the pricing later and upsells. Now with us, we do something completely different with our video ads. We, first of all, concept variation. This is due to the Meta Andromeda update. You don't need to know what that means. All it does mean is we now need lots of different concept variations. So homeowner pain points, reasons to buy, and reasons to take action. So we go through different homeowner pain points and desires. This could be comparing it to a kitchen remodel, stop getting scammed for a kitchen remodel when they just need cabinets. It could be the look at disgust, they don't want to invite people over to their home, moving into those more emotional psychological triggers. They don't want to invite people over because they're embarrassed of their kitchen. And from there, it allows Meta algorithm to reach each niche pocket of the individuals who have they've all got these different buying points instead of just one. And of course, no discounts. We don't want cheap leads looking for a cheap service. We want to protect your brand positioning and improve your close rates. And of course, we build ads that actually explain your service for quality buyers, which means they're already pre-educated before they inquire. They already have realistic expectations, and it builds trust long before that first conversation. Next is follow-up system. Now, you've probably been working with agencies and there's been no follow-up in place or a couple of texts. So you've already lost revenue that you've paid for, okay? You're paying for the ads, you're getting cost per lead, and then there's no follow-up when they're literally right there. Okay, so one missed follow-up is a competitor winning the job and good prospects slipping through the cracks daily. And then you just have inconsistent pipeline and unpredictable cash flow. So some weeks fully booked, other weeks you're dead, and you can't forecast revenue month to month. And of course, slow response times kill conversions. As a business owner, you need to understand that. The moment they fill the form is the moment of highest impulse to buy, take action, book an appointment. So that response delay is lost trust. Now, this is an example of what most companies do. They'll have a new lead come in, they'll have the option to self-book after a crappy meta form, which, bear in mind, this is a lead. They might not even schedule the quote. And from there, Facebook form, they're not even automatically redirected. The other agency, they might have 1 to 3 robotic messages. Oh, job done. It's up to you. They either self-book, great, you get an appointment, but no details. They don't book, it's a forgotten lead about, and you've wasted money, or you're left to chase and do everything and pray they pick up. Whereas for us, what we do here is, a landing page. We have all these different questions, and then from there, they'll automatically be redirected afterwards to book a call. It's an external form, it's a landing page, and it's more friction. It's what we want. And then they're automatically redirected and we sync it into your personal calendar. So they either self-book and then our rep will triage, making sure they still call up the lead that's already booked and qualify in case we need to DQ. And then they're going to receive all the scopes of the project. Or they don't book, and then we have a 7-day SMS sequence, and we also have a 5-day follow-up system. Okay, so this means we triple dial leads morning and afternoon day 1. If the leads pick up, they're booked and the scope of project sent to the client. And then our rep will also follow up for 5 more days before moving the lead into cold lead, and cold leads are added to the client's email list and they can be reactivated later. So as you can see here, we have new lead. If they don't pick up, we move them to day 1. Day 1, we triple dial. We always focus on new leads. Then we triple dial day 1. If they don't pick up, move to day 2. Triple dial, move to day 3. Triple dial to day 4 to day 5. And then if they're not interested, if they're scheduled, and then of course we have, jobs won, jobs lost. And this is how our reps manage the pipeline. So it's nice and organized. And then of course we have a 7-day tech sequence. And now that's already allowed our client to get their first 5K deal closed within the first 8 days of us actually even launching the ads. And they've got 14 more appointments to go with 1.7K ad spend. So far, significantly better than what they were doing before. Now, let's get into the pixel. So because of the last people running instant forms, the only thing they could track was page views. And bearing in mind, this did nothing because when you do instant forms, you're not even allowed to have a pixel on Meta, only if it's external. So no pixel tracking, meaning because it was instant forms, it doesn't allow a pixel to be assigned to the ad account, meaning good prospects slip through the cracks daily because you can't even target the right ones. And then of course you can't optimize properly. It's $1 billion algorithm, okay? And you're not giving it any conversion data to learn. Now without pixel events, performance stays unstable. And of course, it allows agencies to hide behind vanity metrics. They're going to show you clicks or leads that they don't even know they filled the form, like I mentioned earlier, auto-populating data, and they avoid real attribution tracking and never know if marketing's actually profitable. Now in our case, we track everything. So page view, leads, schedules, just like you can see here, 18 out of the 28 leads have a booked appointment. And of course, we track it through Meta Conversion API, which is much better than cookies, as not everyone's going to have cookies enabled. Now with the pixel tracking, it gives the power, it powers audience lookalikes. So we can now use this list and do a lookalike retargeting based on real buyers, create lookalikes based on converted leads, model targeting after your best customers, and grow volume while remaining quality. Now, it also gives you real performance visibility. You get to track real conversions, not just clicks, and see which ads actually drive quality actions. And it makes confident optimization decisions. And it also trains the algorithm to find better buyers. So over time, it's going to filter out low quality clickers, improve lead quality the longer the campaign run, and it learns which users actually complete high intent actions, so scheduling and purchasing. And then from there, we get to use that data over time and optimize for that. The next issue we had, they were not checking ads regularly. Now for reference, none of these are good results, okay? These are all cost per instant forms. But just an example, okay, this was some of their best ones, a $66 and a $69. Yet they were still running actively ads that were getting a $96 and $134 cost per instant form lead. So they're running literally ads still that are getting a double cost per lead and not turning them off and giving more spend to the still underperforming ad, but what was their best one. Now this means performance is dropping without you noticing, so cost per lead is increasing and the volume's going to drop. Frequency will climb and results will fall, and you keep paying for declining performance. Then the algorithm needs active management. No testing means no improvement. No data review, no smart decisions, and performance is just going to plateau instead of improving. Now, you also can't scale what you don't manage. No performance reviews equals no scale decisions, and you're going to hesitate to increase spend because you have no clarity. Like I said, one ad has a double CPL, yet it's being pushed, whereas the ad should have been killed. Like it's just a mess. It's ridiculous. Now in our case, very simple. So we have got, like, this is an example of one of our ad sets. So what I want to show here is that we turned off this one ASAP because Meta spent went above our double our KPI. So we killed it on the second day, 120 spent and we didn't get a lead. Look, I'm fine to show that. Whereas our other ads, like an $18 cost per appointment, 22, 56, 50, and we're getting the appointments here. And straight away in the first week, because we're spending more than our average client. Some clients start at 50 a day. We have a bigger feedback loop, meaning, spending 200 a day to start, then we went up to 240. We got to see data quickly, meaning when we launch that campaign 6 days later, now our cost per appointment is halved already. You see, we make changes actively to make sure we have the best decisions. So we're protecting clients' budget from being wasted, pausing ads that are declining, and we prevent budget from sitting on underperforming campaigns. And we also make sure, like I showed, I'm not afraid to show it, we stop spending on ads that no longer convert. And also, in case there's any broken links or tracking issues, it can be fixed quickly. And of course, the algorithm needs active management. You have to identify which concepts are actually working but converting, and make data-driven decisions instead of assumptions. and test new angles with clear benchmarks. So you're actually turning advertising into a simple system that's profitable and not a gamble. With ads over time, you should be able to tell me I'm putting $1 in and getting $4 out. Just an example. Or maybe it's $1 in, $10 out. And it makes scaling safe instead of risky. So only increasing budget on the proven performers and avoid scaling ads that look good on the surface, maybe a great cost per lead, but no appointments or no purchases. You're getting the wrong type of buyer. So you got to protect your return on ad spend while increasing the volume and build consistency rather than volatility. Now the next one. Now this is something that's very important to me, and it's a dedicated support team. So as you can see here, just some examples. We have bi-weekly check-in calls with our clients. Those that are spending over 10 grand a month with us, it's going to be weekly. Or if you're spending 6, 7, 8K, if you're spending a lot more with us, we need weekly check-ins as we're always seeing things change super quickly. So with that, just to show, one of our clients asking if we can do a full, house painting remodel. Can we target that as well as cabinets? And straight away replying, breaking down what it would look like. Same again, when an appointment's booked, could we get the location to show on the calendar? Once again, fully updated, an hour later. And now he can see the current ones and he's going to be able to see the updated ones. So we have bi-weekly check-in calls and we have a dedicated support number Monday through Saturday. Now Sunday is the team's day off and then they'll be back on Monday. Although if it's urgent, I'll be on the phone if needed. So with the bi-weekly check-in calls, first of all, we got to build a real working relationship. We don't like treating clients like a number. We want to actually understand your business goals and help you get there. So communication is going to feel more collaborative and not just transactional, and long-term trust gets built instead of surface level management. Then it also prevents silent issues from building up, just like that calendar one over there. Small problems are getting caught early, misalignments are getting corrected quickly, and the confusion doesn't compound over weeks, and you're never left in the dark wondering what the hell's going on. And from there, it allows both quick updates and deeper reviews. So transparently, some of the bi-weekly check-in calls, or a lot of them really, they're going to be somewhat short and tactical, because when everything's running smooth, we don't really need to make any changes. We just catch up, make sure everything's going smooth, but it also gives space for urgent issues when needed, and also a space for more like a bigger planning conversation. If we're wanting to scale, okay, let's make a plan for that, so we can grow your business, and communication will always adapt depending on what the business needs. Now, with a dedicated support number, like I said, Monday to Saturday, you're always going to have fast support when something actually matters, if it's a small thing, so you don't have to wait days for email replies. Urgent issues are always going to get handled quickly, and there's going to be less downtime when problems arrive. So you're going to have the peace of mind knowing support's accessible, and it removes all frustration and bottlenecks. You're never going to be stuck with us trying to wonder, who the hell do I contact? Where are these people that I paid? And you're not dealing with some sort of generic support inbox. Communication should feel direct, simple, and that's what we make sure our clients feel. And it just creates confidence in the partnership. You can reach someone when it matters. You're not going to have your trust. You're not going to have issues that are going to go unresolved. And you're going to feel comfortable raising concerns. Like, we actively advocate that, so you feel supported long term, okay? Because with the last agency our client worked with, no communication. They felt left in the dark, no idea what was happening with their money, no updates on performance, no explanation of what was working and what wasn't, and they just felt like they were taking money and disappearing. And then of course, problems feel bigger because there's no support. Leads slow down, no reassurance, no one can help solve the problems, no one offers solutions proactively, and you're just left alone even though you're paying for help. And then of course, it's going to affect growth. It's going to become slow, fragile. There's going to be so much misalignment, expectations will drift apart, couldn't give feedback, meaning no improvements, and no long-term planning can actually be made possible. And from there, without that communication, no feedback loops. So owners feel like the ads are disconnected from the reality. The leads aren't matching what they sell. The real price, if they're offering discounts, it's not reflecting that in the messaging. And it just feels like two separate worlds, like marketing versus real life. And problems will get reported, but never resolved. So issues are always acknowledged but never corrected, and concerns about quality don't lead to new approaches. So mistakes keep happening because there's no processes or adapting. And then of course no optimization happens. Like with us, in 6 days we made a big decision, and results of we've killed the cost per appointment in half, even though it was already very good. So campaigns will be left running but not improved, and testing just becomes random instead of intentional, and growth is just going to hit a ceiling so quick because there's nothing driving the decision. Now based off this, like I said, all these calls, communication gives us quick feedback loops. So testing, it's smart, it's intentional, and all our tests are actually informed by real data and our clients. Creative ideas are based on real objections. If our client feel like they had this pain point or this objection, cool, now we can put that into the messaging, make a new ad, make a new angle, and overcome that. And new angles are grounded into real homeowner pain points. Okay, so growth becomes more predictable. Now we can start scaling our clients' ad spend, make them more money. And it always happens because we're on strong foundations. And now results rely on the process instead of just praying, and close rates do improve consistently because everything is congruent with the owner, the company, the messaging. And of course, problems get solved long before they compound. Small issues, they're caught early, and adjustments can happen within an hour or a day instead of weeks. And of course, fewer long-term issues will build up. Now, with quick feedback loops, that's going to create quick informed decision, creating massive results. Like, think about it. If you had small issues arise, and each small issue was solved like that, is it not simply a matter of time before you see the results you desire if every single small thing was changed? Because with our client, in just 7 days, 14 appointments, 3 DQ'd, so we still have 14. We have 2 follow-ups, and we've already closed our first appointment for $5,068. Now, 7 days after the launch, first 5K deal and 14 appointments to go with only 1.7K spent. Now, only with a 30% close rate and an average job size of 4,000, that's an extra 20,000 on top of the 5K close in just 7 days. Now, before, they've spent 47,000 in 3 months and made 52,000. Awful. And now we're expecting $25,000 of 1.7K versus 52K of 47K in 3 months. We did it in 7 to 8 days. Now look, okay? Yeah, here's me and Hermosi, doesn't matter. You may be wondering, why do we act so differently with every other marketing agency that you've ever worked with? Why are we doing everything so differently? And it's simple. I want to get you results. And I'm going to be honest, yes, I do want to get you results. But part of it's for my own selfish reasons too. Because I understand, if I get you results, my team perform the way they should, you're going to stay with my company a very long time, and therefore I increase my lifetime value. If you stay with me over a year instead of churning for 1 month, what's the point? You're going to pay me more. And just for reference, let's say my CAC's $1,000 and my team performs bad on month 1, I already lose you as a client. And after paying my team out, I'm going to be in the red. So, that doesn't seem like a smart business decision to me. Therefore, I prioritize my results. And the second one, I have no doubt you're going to throw me friends to me once you're finally confident that you finally have a team that will get you results. And think about it, when homeowners tell their friends about you because you do a good job, those referrals are the easiest sales for your business, just like they are mine. I want you to be able to confidently sing praises about our team and the results they're getting for your company at the top of your lungs. So whether or not it's partially my own selfish desires for wanting to get you some crazy results, I want to have a good reputation in this industry. And that's exactly why we perform different from every other agency. So just for reference, to go back on everything I said, we're getting a cheaper cost per appointment than they got cheaper cost per meta lead. And in 3 months, they made 52,000 off 47,000, whereas we're projected 25,000 in 8 days off 1.7 thousand spend. Now, these are the results. I've showed you the process. If you want, you can try and implement everything yourself. If not, there's going to be a link, book a call, and I'd love to see how scale prediction can completely transform your business.